I'm about to turn 40, and these are 5 truths that I'm carrying with myself as I head into my 5th decade of life. That's crazy to say. On this episode of the Lead More podcast, we dive into reflections, truth, what's coming up, how am I feeling? And it's true, I'm about to turn 40, and I would say I'm not scared or worried, or it's not like really rattling me or freaking me out, but it is making me very reflective. I've found that it's made me kind of pause and think. It's made me look back and reflect. It's sort of one of my favorite pieces of advice I've heard from somebody so far is that once you turn 40, you start really caring a lot less what other people think. It was slightly different, and there might have been an F word involved in that piece of advice. But the idea was you've established yourself, you've established your career, you've established your skills. And now you don't have a whole lot to prove. You're still plenty of runway. You're still very early, lots left to do, but you're doing it for yourself. You're doing it for your family. You're doing it for the right reasons, not for somebody else. And so I'm dropping this video here soon that's going to be a look back on I'm calling it the whole first half of my career, right? 25 lessons that I've learned from when I was 20 years old and had an internship to now to 40. And by going through that, it's really kind of made me think about, well, what are the things that maybe I've just started to learn, or the things that I need to tell myself as I move into this next decade, as I turn 40. And so that's what this episode of the Lead More podcast is today. Just a solo episode here. I'm going to tell you the 5 truths, my truths, that I'm carrying into 40. All right, friends. So number 1, the who matters most. And what I mean by this is I look back on my 20-year professional career, I realized the things that I was most appreciative of, the things I was most proud of, the things that I am most fond or sort of sentimental about are the who's, the people, right? My first boss, my first mentor, my co-founder, my partner in crime at Leadership South Dakota, right? The who's people. There's always that really good business saying that when you have a problem, figure out the who, not the what, right? You can debate the what, you can try to whiteboard the how, but sometimes it's just a who problem. If you find the right who, the what and the how don't even matter, right? They'll take care of themselves. So that's not only good advice in terms of strategy and business and execution, but it also just made me realize the who's matter most, right? For me, it's my wife, it's my 2 daughters, it's the people I get to spend the most time with, your friends, your family, the people you build with, right? I went to work every day at Lemonly because of the team that was there. I log in every day as a coach online because of the people I get to help on the other side of the Zoom call, right? So the who's matter most. And I would encourage you to apply this to everything, how you spend your time, how you choose opportunities. If you're weighing a career change or a new job title, I would really think long and hard about the who's instead of the what's. The success, the salary, the benefits, the rewards, the goals will likely come if the who's around you are right, if they fit into place, if you're proud to go to work with those people, if they're people who are cheering you on, pushing you forward, not pulling you back, right? So get the who's right, and everything else will fall in place. That is a truth that I think I knew, and maybe just haven't really sat back and told myself so confidently until now. And so I'm carrying that truth with me. Number 2, filter everything. And this is coming from a real sort of personal pain point, I think. This summer, 2025, I felt a little overcommitted, a little overwhelmed, maybe. I think for the first time ever this summer, I felt a little bit of burnout. I'll tell you the story. We went on a 2-week vacation this summer. We went to Spain with our family. Incredible, amazing trip. Talk about who's. We went and saw family, friends on the other side of the world. The Fernandez family is like our European family. I wanted Paige and my daughters to meet this family, the next generation of this friendship that has now lasted 4 decades back to our parents. And so the who matters most there, and we lived that out. But it was this 2-week vacation that rolled into the 4th of July holiday, that rolled into a nonprofit board meeting that rolled into, oh crap, all of my meetings are in like a 10-day span, just to kind of put your head down and grind and get it done. And then all of a sudden, the last week of July, I looked at my calendar and I didn't want to do anything on the calendar. I didn't want to do the coaching call, shoot the video, write the blog post, even have the coffee meeting, like the things I've always loved doing. And I think that was, for the first time ever, burnout for me, really truly feeling burnout. And I think that stems back to trying to do too much. And so the number 2 truth is filter everything. Filter who you spend time with, filter what you work on, filter when you work on it, where you work on it. Why does it matter to you, right? In the spirit of that advice, in your 40s, you start doing it for yourself and not for other people. Well, then you sure as hell should only be doing things for you. Don't be chasing. I talk about in momentum makers and momentum takers. Well, one of the momentum takers is false goals, chasing somebody else's goal, chasing something that you think you should have because society or the Joneses or whoever it is tells you you should, right? The bigger house, the fancier car, the job title, whatever it might be. So ruthlessly filter everything. Your time is the most valuable asset you have. How are you going to spend it? The best way you can spend it is by filtering. The boards or nonprofits you choose to serve or sit on, like, care about those causes, where you write a check, who you spend time with, the hobbies you even work on. Are they your hobbies and do you want to do them? Or is it something that you're supposed to do? Right? So I'm really taking this word filter to heart and trying to apply this lens, right? A filter will pull out the things that don't matter, catch the things that don't fit, and only let the things that are most important fly through. And so just like an air filter in your home, get a fresh, clean air filter and really look long and hard at everything you do, who you do them with, where you do it with, what you do, how, all that, and filter everything. That's the second truth. Number 3, I know people say this all the time, it's trite, but health is wealth. If you follow my content a year ago, I made this video at this time of year. I was turning 39 and I said, I'm going to get in the best shape of my life and I'm going to document this journey. Now, one of those 2 things is true. And I'm actually proud to say, I think the first one is true. I think I'm pretty close to the healthiest version I've ever been in my life. Now, am I as fast as I was in high school? Heck no. Have I been in the gym a little bit more than I have been running? Yes. But, I haven't done all like the blood work and the quantitative analysis and the documentation to prove it, but I feel really good and I look good. I feel good. And that's what matters most. Now, the part I failed in terribly was documenting the journey. I said I was going to go on this health journey and document it, create content, dive into the numbers, learn about all these things, report back to what, and I just honestly didn't feel right. Like, I'm not trying to be a health influencer. It's not the audience that I serve. It's not the content that I create. And it just was kind of personal. So instead, I just kept working out and eating good and trying to emphasize sleep and trying to take care of my mental health, which is health, right? And I ended up at the outcome that I wanted to be, but in a very different way. So I'm reinforcing this truth that, of course, we all know, but really is so true, that health is wealth, right? The healthy man will want 1,000 things, and the unhealthy man wants just one, right? Everything else crumbles, falls, like comes to a halt or stops if you don't have your health. And so, unfortunately, of course, sometimes that's not in our control, and there are different plans for us, and life will certainly meet us with a curveball. But in the realm of what you can control, health is wealth. Lock that in, dial it in, care about it in the spirit of filtering. Make sure your health gets through the filter, and that'll propel you forward. So health is wealth. Truth number 3 that I'm taking into my 40s. Number 4, no small plans. This one comes from my good friend and former coach, Dan Martell. No small plans. One life, 365 days in a year, 24 hours in a day. How are you going to spend that time? If you're going to do it, do it big. The fact that you get to wake up every day and you get to breathe, you get to live on this earth, that you are alive and you get to be here. Don't make small plans, right? If you're going to do it, go big. If you're going to, like, if not you, then who, right? You can have anything you believe in if you believe in it enough, right? There's that awesome adage of like, whether you believe it or you don't, you're right, right? So believe it. So believe that you're capable. See a dream, build a dream, pursue the dream, and make it a reality, right? I know that sounds woo-woo, and it might be hard some days, on your bad days, on your busy days, on your hard days, to believe it to be true, but it is so true. Because guess what? When you have big plans, it not only inspires those around you, but it allows them to build big plans that can fit underneath, right? I love that CEO idea of like, your job as CEO. I tell this to my CEOs that I coach. Your vision for the company needs to be so big that everyone else's plans and visions can fit underneath it, right? So if you put a lid on how big your vision can be, how great your company can be, how big your dreams and aspirations can be, everyone else, they won't fit. And so they'll either plateau and stay status quo, or they'll leave. They'll check out, they'll take the side path and find somebody else with bigger plans and bigger dreams. So even if you don't run a company, even if just you and your family, just you yourself, make your plans big, make them bold, inspire others, but most importantly, inspire yourself on those dreams. So no small plans. I think this is one, being a kid from a town of 20,000 people in South Dakota who grew up in a cul-de-sac, who's found success, but just comfort, is one I'd say in the first 40 years of my life. I'm a dreamer, I'm a builder, but I think I've played a little small. And so as I head into my 40s, I'm really taking this adage of no small plans, dream big, be bold, and inspire those around you. Truth number 5, and this is the one that's super important. And I hope that these truths, whether you are 40, like me, 50, 60, 70, or 30, 20, 15. Hopefully there aren't 10-year-olds here on YouTube watching this. I mean, they can, but that's a whole nother bag. But the truth is that you're just getting started. I know I can struggle with this one. This is one I probably need to take home more than all 5 of these, is you're just getting started. 40 years, John, is so young. You have so much left to do. 50 years is so young. 60 years, you're just hitting your peak, right? You're just getting started. And so, yes, we only have one life, so it better be big. No small plans. But know that you're just getting started. There is time. You still have time to become the best version of yourself, to become that 10.0 version, to inspire others, to change the trajectory of your life. We do this exercise with my coaching clients. I call it the 3-year vivid vision. And so I would say, take whatever day is today, add 3 years. So in August of 2028, describe your life to me as vividly as possible. What's the vivid vision? Where do you wake up? Who are you next to? What do you eat? Where do you go? Are you working? Are you doing hobbies? Are you exercising? Where do you go? Who do you work with? What do you work on? What do you have for lunch? Like, what do you do in the afternoon, in the evening? Where do you go to sleep? What are your hobbies? Like, describe it as vividly as possible. Just paint this picture. More adjectives, the better. And then step away and look at that life. And what I love about the 3-year vivid vision is, like, 5, certainly 10 years, it could be a little daunting, right? We start to wonder, like, geez, what does the world even look like in 2035? What's going to change? AI this, or economy that, or global politics, who knows, whatever. It's all noise. And 1 year, 12 months goes fast. We're here in August already. The truth is, you can drastically transform your life in 1 year. But 3 years is just like a nice timestamp, a nice middle ground. For the parents listening, I feel like you can really benchmark 3 years using your kids. My girls are 9 and 6. Okay, so when they're 12 and 9, what grades are they going to be in? Where will they be? What school will they go to? What will they be doing? And I can benchmark my life against that. And so this vivid vision, you look at this and you make it as vivid as possible. And then you just step back and figure, how do we make this thing come true? Is what I'm doing now bringing me closer to that? What I always like to say is you don't need to figure out the how. You just need to know the what. So what are you chasing? What do you want? What does it look like? We'll figure out how to get there. But what does it look like? And number 5, you're just getting started, perfectly connects to number 4, no small plans, right? So paint that vivid vision, make it big, make it audacious, make it a little bit ridiculous. It should make you uncomfortable. And then you're going to figure out how to get there. So those, my friends, are 5 truths that I'm bringing into my 40s. The who matters most. Number 1, filter everything. Number 2, your health is wealth. Number 3, no small plans. Number 4, and number 5, no, you're just getting started. All right, friends, that is this episode of the Lead More podcast. The things I'm telling myself as I head into my 40s. And I hope that regardless of what age you are, could already be in your 40s, could be ahead, could be behind, you'll find some version of these truths that are valuable to you. And maybe you can start thinking about what your truths are. Although I feel like I knew versions of this, certainly I've heard this advice. Right now, for me, at this point in my life, at this phase, these are the things I really need to hear, that I'm telling myself and that I'm carrying with me. Don't miss next week's video. I'm dropping the 25 lessons that I've learned in the first half of my career. So if this is halftime, let's hope maybe it's only the first quarter and I got lots of game left to play. But here's everything I've learned so far. It's a look back. It's a journey. I think you're going to love it. So make sure to click subscribe below so you don't miss that video. And I would love to hear, what are the truths you're carrying into whatever year you're living this year. As always, friends, take care and be well.